That's weird. That's weird. Kind of weirding me out.
You are a sad, strange little man.
Crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Isn't that weird?
That's weird, man.
It's strange.
What's up, campers? Welcome back to episode 104 of Camp Strange. I am your camp counselor, Alex Tobin.
And I'm your other camp counselor, David Stokes.
What?
Surprise!
Everybody, David Stokes has been a very busy man in the past couple of days since he is moving to an undisclosed location. But in his absence, we have an old pro on here as Katie Nicholson, my girlfriend, yes, I have a girlfriend, who is now my roommate, stepped in and lifted the heavy burden that was just going to be a single-man podcast. So I'm glad to have a co-host. So thank you, Katie, for being on here with us.
Why, thank you, Alex, for having me.
But as all of you know, we're back to bring the spooky, wacky, weird, strange, and box-like. What's that mean?
What?
You'll figure it out. Anyway, but before we get into our longer stories today, we have to catch you up on any of the news you may have missed. And I got some news for you. As Arkansas farmer, he is accused of desecrating a longtime rival's grave. With dead animals.
What kind of dead animals?
I actually tried to find that. It's not popping up. So Joseph Stroud, who's 78, which is, I feel like if you're 78, that is the prime time to go desecrate graves. You have nothing else going on in your life.
Prime time to hold a grudge, for sure.
Oh, he's apparently, let's read this article real quick. But, I missed out the best part. So Joseph Stroud, 78, he's been disguising himself as a woman when he visited the grave of Fred McKinney in Benton County, Arkansas, just north of Fayetteville. And while he's been there, he's been, I guess the family of good old Mr. Fred McKinney started finding a bunch of dead animals near his grave. And they thought they found 16 dead animals to be exact. So he does have time on his hands, which is more concerning that he's just killing.
Well, is he killing them, or maybe he's finding roadkill? Maybe it's like a.
That's more concerning. He's searching the roads.
I think it's better than murdering animals.
Okay, you got a fair point. But they don't even say like what kind of animals we're talking about here. But
I'm picturing like squirrels, maybe a
rabbits.
Bird or two. If they were, I don't know.
If he's killing them, that's impressive with a bird.
Yeah,
but
I guess so.
But they thought that the animals were eating the lake flora and then dying near the grave, which means that they're not like, he's not like shooting them and he's not like going after them with a machete or anything like that. So like, I don't know, is he just like poisoning animals and then placing them by the grave?
It is an interesting question. I feel like you don't come across that many dead animals just like laying around, but I don't know. Maybe he's poisoning them like at his farm.
Yeah, it's really fucked up because the animals are just casualties in this. They have nothing going on in this grudge.
They're just pawns.
Yeah, exactly. But apparently they've just been finding a bunch of dead animals. So the family set up a camera and they caught somebody near the grave wearing a teal windbreaker, a wig, and sunglasses. And they identified him as Stroud, which is very impressive for the cops. I mean,
yeah.
I guess it's not that good of a disguise, but it's kind of cool that like he was like, I'm gonna dress up in a disguise of a woman because I guess that is it's a law. You can't desecrate people's graves, I guess.
Well, you probably also can't kill animals, but yeah.
Well, I mean, apparently this is a Class B felony, which is
I don't know what that means.
Me neither, but it's a felony.
Yeah.
So, but he has denied any involvement.
Of
But
course.
like, that's my girlfriend from another high school.
My
I don't know.
evil twin sister.
Exactly. You can always pull out the evil twin thing. Oh, no. If you guys hear any noises in the background, there is a baby kitty cat that we had just adopted, and she is crazy and just throwing shit all over the house. And just, you know what? If she keeps it up, we might be adding 17 to that list. I don't want to be.
Gotta go to Arkansas.
Come over here. Come over here. She loves cemeteries. She won't feel a thing.
She is a black cat.
She is. So spooky. But Katie, do you have a news story for us?
I do, kind of in a similar vein. I guess the government of Florida, I don't know how this works. They approved 750 million genetically engineered mosquitoes to be released in the Florida Keys.
What? No.
Yeah, so that's starting next year. They're supposed to breed with like a certain mosquito species that like carries diseases such as Zika
And West Nile?
yellow fever, not West Nile.
Fuck.
And basically, if the mosquitoes that are already out there mate with these, I'll call them robots.
Oh, does it like take out the?
Well, no, it doesn't kill them. It kills like the offspring won't survive.
Wait, what?
The larva of the.
They're putting like sterile mosquitoes out there, or like they have like a gene that kills.
They have a gene where like the larva just will die.
Oh my god! I thought you were gonna say that they were just gonna start giving birth, and they have like dominant genes, so like the sickness or like the viruses would be like
Not passed down.
exactly. That's what I was thinking, but it just kills. Oh my god, we're evil.
Well, apparently they've like tested this in a few other places and it actually like worked, but I mean, I don't really know how ethical it is. I don't know what the I don't know anything.
Oh wait, I got an update on the cemetery one. They found 750 million dead mosquito larvae at McKinney's grave.
Oh no.
Oh shit. Well, you know what? We think we know who did it, but we're not 100% sure. That's crazy though. I mean, it's good, but it's bad because
Well, one of the things that people are upset about is with everything that's going on and all of the government funding that could be allotted to other things, it's going toward genetically modified mosquitoes.
I mean,
But I don't know.
well, I mean,
Whatever floats your boat.
it's supposed to be like a lot of things aren't a good idea until the horrible shit happens. So like, you know, it has to be preventative because for a long time people were like, don't put money into I remember they're asking, like, I saw a press conference where they're like asking Obama and they're like, hey, like, should we put money into this like virus, like trying to find like cures for a virus? And he's like, yeah, I think we should because it's preventative just in case. And like, you know, people didn't probably want to put money into that either, but
Maybe
probably
it would
should've put
prevent
money.
something down the line. Who
Exactly,
knows?
like this whole goddamn mess we're all in. But so I'm all for Team 750 mosquitoes, especially because I don't live in
750 million.
Oh, that's what I meant. But especially because I don't live in Florida. So,
Yeah, true. Such
I-
a Florida thing to happen.
It is. I mean, land of the mosquitoes, right? Well, I have another news story. As this is a very David Stokes. David Stokes would really get a kick out of this one.
Okay.
But apparently, Nintendo, you know, the big conglomerate that makes all your favorite Mario games.
I've heard of them.
Don't you hate people who call it Mario? He's Mario. He's always been Mario. But apparently, Nintendo has tweaked Mario's nipples.
What?
So there was a big outcry. David Stokes definitely knows about it because there's two things that man loves in life. It's Mario and nipples. And actually three things. Mario, nipples, and Mario's nipples. But so they released this image I'm showing Katie of him running on a beach, and he has
Okay.
little pink nipples, which are totally normal, you know, free the nipple.
Yeah.
And they're proportionate, they're nice, they look great. But everybody's like, this is so weird. Mario has nipples. You've never seen Mario with nipples. I don't think many people have seen Mario with his shirt off, which is fair.
Yeah, he's usually wearing his little, what are they, overalls?
He's got overalls. Yeah, he's a plumber. He's
And
not
here he is, just like lounging on the beach. He's got to look out for mosquitoes.
exactly, and he is lounging on the beach with his shirt off once again in a tweet that they tweeted, and his nipples are gone. The curious case of the missing Mario nipples.
Oh my gosh.
So I guess they have listened to the fans, and now Mario's babies are so hungry and they don't know what's going on. But at least the fans are happy. But you know what, fans? Mario's children's blood is on your... Mario's children's milk is on your hands. Or Mario's
Or
milk.
not on your hands
Or-
because he doesn't have any.
Exactly. So I just like, you know, it's good, bad news, depending on where you stand on the nipple situation. But I'm all free the nipple. Give Mario, I say double them. I say double the size, make them ballones. That's balonies for
I
any of you
do. Well,
don't know.
I thought you meant double the quantity because I do love a man with 4 nipples.
Oh, I have an extra nipple. 3.
Three and a half.
It's arguably 4. It doesn't look like a nipple. It's okay, guys. Harry Styles has 3 nipples, and Styles has 3
I
nipples.
think he has like 5.
Great. So
4, I don't know.
I'm kind of like Harry Styles, so whatever.
Yeah.
But she said yeah in a weird way. Anyway, so that's where I'm pro nipple. Make them bigger, make them longer, make them wider. Make him a nipple. Make him one
It should
big
just
nipple.
be a nipple,
He
yeah.
just be one. His body should just be covered in nipple skin. Anyway, so that's a horror movie for you. Nintendo, make that one. Do you have another news story for us?
I do. Well, I guess this is technically a new news story based on an old news story.
Okay.
An article came out today about 129 ways to get a man, and it's according to a 1958 Women's Magazine article.
Ooh, this is gonna be sexist.
There were some interesting ones, let me tell you. I, of course, highlighted a few of my faves.
I'll tell you if they work or not. I'm a man.
Oh, okay. Are you?
Hardly.
So the first one is have your car break down in strategic places.
No, I'm not helping anybody who has a broken down car. Get your shit
This
together.
is 1958, baby.
But I want a hardworking woman that has a hardworking car. I don't want no broken down car. Fuck
Men
that.
like to feel needed sometimes.
I don't know. Not that kind of way. Like, maybe if it's like, I really need a big old kiss right now. I'd be like, oh, guess what? I'm the best at.
Well, that was only number 2 on the list of 129. And just for your reference, number 1 was get a dog and walk it.
Actually, that would probably work.
That one is much more logical, which is why it's not really on my highlights, but I just wanted to note that was the first one.
I would at least talk to you. You might not get me because
Yeah.
I'm a really hard get. But
Depends how good the dog is.
Exactly. I don't like little fluffy white dogs. I don't hate them. I'm not dog racist, but
You're
I just,
not. You do like most dogs.
I like scrunchy faced dogs. I like pugs. Like, I like pugs. Like even Kuma. Kuma he fits in the category. He's a Boston.
You like
bulldogs.
Close to the
Shih
ground.
Tzus.
Chonky, ugly-ish.
I want dogs
looking.
that have been bred into horrible existence. Like we bred them just for our own sake, and we just think they're cute, and they cannot breathe or walk, and they're dehydrated and overheated. Those are my favorite kind of dogs.
And that's a good kind to have.
What else do we have on the list, though?
So, another fave was sit on a park bench and feed pigeons, which I think is why there are a bunch of pigeon people. They're trying to find a man.
It makes sense because those pigeon ladies are really very sexy. Has anybody seen Home Alone 2 about the pigeon lady?
No, you always bring this up to me. And
I always bring up pigeon lady to you?
I feel like you have a few times, and I never get your reference. Have you seen the Mary Poppins
No.
pigeon lady?
No.
Topic?
I've just seen her like float down on an elevator, on an umbrella. I kind of just like it's too British for me.
All right.
I just don't get the humor. It's like the British Office. I just don't get it. What's a greengrocer? I don't. That's what they call supermarkets. Like, I went to a greengrocer. I'm like,
I've never heard that before.
wow, you don't watch enough British television.
Apparently. This was a good one. Read obituaries to find eligible widowers. They're vulnerable.
Oh my God! You're like scouring the the graveyard. Like,
Yeah.
that's like Will Ferrell in Wedding Crashers.
Back to graveyards, though.
Yeah.
Look for the dead animals.
Look for the dead animals, or the woman cleaning them up, or the man cleaning them up.
Yeah. This one, another good one. Be friendly to ugly men.
You know what? I approve that message. I approve that message 110%.
And then it said something in parentheses along the lines of something about handsome only gets you so far or something like that.
It's
I don't know.
true. You got to find a man that knows how to make a good cheesecake. He doesn't have to be good looking, but man, I don't know how to make a cheesecake. I'm just saying, ladies, sometimes your priorities are in the wrong place. Don't go for the face or the body. Go for the man that could do the thing that, not a lot of other guys can do. Maybe he can build a, One of those book things out in front of your front yard. Free library.
Oh my God, those libraries.
If you want them to build one, find one of those guys. Those guys are the best. You know,
they love books.
they love
reading.
books. Yeah, I'm gonna build one of those and then sit on a lawn chair right in front of them, and then when they pick up a book, I'm gonna ruin the book for them right away.
Oh, nice
Right?
idea. Yeah,
Isn't that
that's
cool?
a good twist.
Oh, that's a good book right there. He dies at the end. You know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, and then the last one was, don't be afraid to associate with more attractive girls. They may have some leftovers.
Oh, that is so fucking bad.
It's very bad.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything about that. I'm already like on the verge of getting canceled every episode. So
I know. It's like hope for sloppy seconds.
that's, you know what? Everybody is sloppy seconds to everybody, right? Unless
well,
like not everybody, obviously, but
But-
once you're past the point of a certain age, it's like, you know what? We're all just Joes in this sloppy Joe mess, you know? We're all just Joes and Janes.
Joes and Janes.
Sloppy Joes and sloppy Janes.
Yep.
Right?
It's true.
So
And that was the end of my, those were the highlights for me.
I'm going to read all of those. Wait, where can we read all of those, Katie? Where was that? What was that website?
I think I was on the Mirror.
Okay. Well, if you guys want to, you know, just look it up, like 1950s ways to get men.
129.
Something
thank
like
you.
that. Yeah, go search if you want to read all of them, but they're probably all amazing. So now that we're caught up on the news, though, we got to get into these long stories. But before that, we got to tell you about our ad. And this week is brought to you by Alex Jones. You globalists don't trust the toilet anymore? That's what I thought. That's why you got to buy Alex Jones's double-walled diapers. You got to be shitting in those just so the globalists can't see your ass. They have cameras at the bottom of the toilet, and they're going to be checking you out. So use my diapers. They hold 20 pounds of dung at all times, and they will make you faster, stronger, smarter, and more buff. So check out Alex Jones double-walled diapers. Keep all the stink in, or don't, depending on what you want. And watch out for the globalists. Anyway, that was
Thank you to our sponsors.
That was our sponsor. That was more for David Stokes. Hope you're listening, buddy. Now let's get into these stories. Now, Katie, as you know, since you now live with me,
Yes.
that I am the proud owner, and you are a proud stepmother of a cursed item known as my son, Gary.
Yes.
So for any of those you don't know, I have a cursed little doll. His name's Gary. We bought him off eBay. He loves hunting. He actually got shot in the head by his dad by accident while he was hunting. But before that, he loved waffles and, breakfast and hanging out with his dad. And he's a good little boy, and he sits on our desk at all times.
And he's got a sombrero.
He's been with us for like about 1.5 years now. So, but now cursed items can come in many forms, like dolls like Gary, to jewelry and paintings. But today, I will be talking about a very specific cursed item that has gained much attention in the past few years as one of the most maliciously cursed items to ever exist. You see, curses don't just fall upon items that are inherently creepy, like creaky rocking chairs and old worn dresses. Sometimes they fall upon the most random of items. And that is why today I will be talking about the Dybbuk Box. Now, Katie, are you aware of the Dybbuk Box at all?
I have never heard of this in my entire life.
So some of you might know of it. I think there was a movie called The Possession that came out a few years ago, and that is about a Dybbuk box, I believe. But it is kind of one of those things that it's like, around like the whole Annabelle thing that like it's kind of gotten this like notoriety, and people are like, oh, it's like the new hot item. It's the new Annabelle. So they're trying to like make movies and, add it to like pop culture as much as they can right now. But let's get into it. So to understand what a Dybbuk box is, we must first understand what a Dybbuk is. You see, the word Dybbuk is derived from the Hebrew verb, oh God, I don't know this word. I think it's debak. There's lines above and below letters, and I don't know what those means. But the Hebrew verb debak, meaning adhere or cling, which would make sense since a Dybbuk is a malicious, possessing spirit believed to be the dislocated soul of a dead person. This means that a Dybbuk is not necessarily a demon that possesses a body like we usually see in most possession movies, but the spirit of a malicious person that possesses you. So basically, it could be like your grandfather is now let me correct this. Your Jewish grandfather is now a Dybbuk because he's possessing other people. But I'm guessing it's people who have maybe died wrongly or they have unfinished business, like most ghosts. But it's basically a ghost that possesses people instead of a demon like we see in The Exorcist or many other like The Conjuring and stuff like that.
I don't want to ruin anything if you're going into this later, but where does the box come in?
Oh, we're going to get into the box. Okay. I have to describe the Dybbuk
So a
first.
Dybbuk is just the spirit.
The Dybbuk is the spirit.
Okay.
So we're going to cover it a little bit more, but let's get into it right here. Luckily, though, for anyone who comes into contact with such a spirit, there is such a way to banish the Dybbuk from your body. But the only issue is every cure is different depending on the spirit, since a Dybbuk supposedly only leaves the host's body once it has accomplished its goal, sometimes after being helped.
Okay.
Which is crazy. So, like, that just means like the Dybbuk has to be helped by the person in order to leave. And that's just like basically like somebody breaking into your house and then like squatting for months and then agreeing to leave as long as you give them a few $100 and then help them format their resume.
But do you know like what they want, or you have to figure it out?
See, every person's different. So like if like fucking old dead guy who doesn't like animals by his grave, like it becomes a Dybbuk, he's like, he'll possess your body, and then you'll find out that his goal is to kill the guy that's leaving dead animals at his grave. So he cannot be put to rest until that guy is dead. So he won't leave your body until that guy's dead.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, exactly. So every Dybbuk is different, though. It's just like a person's, just like all of our hopes and dreams and goals, Dybbuks have their own hopes and dreams
It's
and
like
goals.
a last hurrah, kind of.
Exactly, Rumspringa. So the term Dybbuk first appears in a number of 16th century writings, when before that it was all mostly demon possessions. So like I said, demons were kind of like the hot item. Everybody loved them. And then the 16th century Dybbuk started popping up in the Jewish writings and stuff. Okay. And after this, parents and rabbis began to use Dybbuks to their advantage, though, as it was said that a sloppily made mezuzah, or they're like prayer cards, like rolled up and put in like cases, but sloppily made mezuzahs, or entertaining doubt about Moses crossing the Red Sea, open one's household for Dybbuk possession. So if you're just like, I don't actually think Moses actually crossed that sea,
then you might get possessed by a dead grandpa.
Exactly. It's just like the boogeyman, which is like, don't doubt Moses walking across that sea.
That's what the boogeyman says?
I don't know what he says.
Oh, okay.
He probably says,
I'm under your bed.
I'm under your bed. He's not very smart. He just says where he is most times. I'm in the closet this time. So, although the Dybbuk was somewhat popular among the Jewish people, it was still pretty unknown to the general population. That was until 2001, when a man by the name of Kevin Mannis came into contact with a Dybbuk himself. So Kevin Mannis owned a small antiques and furniture refinishing business in Portland, Oregon in 2001, when he first discovered the Dybbuk at an estate sale. While searching the contents of the house, Kevin spotted a wooden box about a foot tall with double doors on the front, a small drawer below, and two ornate metal grape emblems on the front. The box was originally designed as a vintage wine cabinet to hold the sacred drinks used in different Jewish traditions.
So this guy's just shopping for his store.
So he's trying to find like old wood shit,
stuff he can refurnish.
Exactly. We've tried to do that.
Living the dream.
We tried to do that before. We bought some stuff on OfferUp, painted it, tried to sell it. People didn't want it.
Didn't work out too well, but it was worth a shot.
You guys, you know what we do with a bunch of paint? We don't know what to do with all this paint. We have so much paint. We've just been pouring it down the sink, and our landlord's getting mad. But so yeah, he saw this like little wine cabinet, which is actually pretty cool. I saw a picture of the inside of the box, and basically on the insides of like the swinging open doors, there's just like on each side, there's 2 little like wine bottle holders. So you could just put like 4 bottles in there and it holds them, and it looks nice. You put it on your wall or something like that. So Manus liked the box and thought it would be a great piece for his store. So he purchased it, and on his way out asked the seller about its history. Manus was told that the box had belonged to the seller's grandma named Havela, who was a Holocaust survivor from Poland.
Oh.
Yeah. So Havela had apparently purchased the box after she escaped Poland and went to Spain, where she bought the box. The box would then follow her as she immigrated to the United States shortly after. So technically, the wine box was from Spain, which does make sense because they have a shit ton of wine. But it wasn't inherently cursed or anything like that. Like it wasn't like from like a creepy guy or anything, but a lot of people believe that during the time of World War II and all the horrible atrocities that were happening at the time, that possibly this box maybe absorbed some of the energy or trapped it in there, or a spirit found its way in there or something like that. There are probably gaps in the story that, we don't know about because she doesn't know what happened. Like when you go to a store in Spain and you buy this box, you don't know where that box originally came from. If it's in the Spanish store, you're like, this could be from, Germany or something like that, where
or it could be brand new, or
exactly, we don't know. So, but you know what? She got the box and she went to the U.S. And upon hearing that the box was a family heirloom, Manus felt bad and he offered to give the box back to the family. But the granddaughter insisted that he take it, saying that the family did not want the box.
That's a red flag.
Yes. So when he asked why they didn't want it, the young woman confessed that the box had been kept in her grandmother's sewing room for years and was never opened because a Dybbuk was said to live inside. So they knew about this Dybbuk. I'm guessing Manus probably didn't even know what a Dybbuk was, but he's like, what the fuck? Like, there's a Dybbuk inside this box? You guys didn't open this? Like, what? So he brought the box home, and Manus, unaware of the gravity of the situation, brought the box home and decided to see for himself what was inside the box after years of lying dormant. Manus took the box into his home and grabbed the handles on the outside, slowly opening the tomb of the Dybbuk. Upon opening the box, Manus found that it contained 2 1920s pennies, a lock of blonde hair bound with cord,
What?
a lock of brown hair bound with cord,
What?
a small statue engraved with the Hebrew word shalom, a small golden wine goblet, 1 dried rosebud, and a single candle holder with 4 octopus-shaped legs.
This sounds like a serial killer's collection box.
He's like, I take a little
Lock of hair.
Yeah, exactly. They take trophies from every victim. I think this lady was a fucking murderer. I think she was the Dybbuk. She could be the Dybbuk.
See, that's what I thought you were going to say, is that it was her, not possessed earlier. I thought it was going to be her.
Oh, like she was in the box.
Once she died, maybe she jumped on in. But if the family already knew about that when she was alive and well, and it was just chilling in her sewing room, then
that's true.
Obviously was from before.
Yeah, the grandma's probably like, there's a Dybbuk in that box. But it's a great setup if you go, don't open that box, there's a Dybbuk in it. But it's really just don't throw away that box because I'm going to fucking haunt the shit out of that box later.
And also keep my weird possessions in here.
My 1 rosebud petal. Who are you, Orson fucking Welles? Katie doesn't get that joke. She's never seen Citizen Kane.
No, I don't get it.
Where all my film heads at. That movie's okay. Anyway, so Manus thought nothing of the contents of the box. He probably was throw all this shit in the trash. I don't want any
the
of this.
1920s pennies could maybe be worth something.
I mean, they're at least made of real copper, right?
Probably.
I mean, I think it's any penny before 1940.
I don't know when the cutoff was.
It was something back in the day because then they started, melting pennies for bullets. Who knows?
War, yeah.
So, so he emptied the contents of the box and didn't think of it or, nothing of the contents of the box or the box itself. That was until the Oh, what did I write? That was until a week later, the nightmares began.
Ooh.
See, Manus, as well as other guests in the house, began to experience horrible nightmares where an old hag would visit them in their sleep.
Grandma?
You know what's crazy? I wrote that, and I didn't even make the connection that might be Grandma.
Could be grandma.
Grandma, where's my fucking rosebud petal? Where's my octopus chalice? Like, Grandma, stop being weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, so an old hag would visit them in their sleep, which is like so fucking horrible. Old crones, old witch ladies, they're the worst.
This is kind of like if anyone listened to the other episode I was on a few months ago, there was a maid or a housekeeper from a hotel that had passed, and then she would show up in between couples that were sleeping in the bed in the hotel.
Oh, that's right. That was the Stanley Hotel?
It was the Stanley Hotel.
Of Stanley Steamer fame?
Of Stanley Steamer fame, yes.
Of the trains.
I believe they were cars.
Oh, okay, cars. But that was, if you guys didn't know, that was the inspiration for the movie The Shining. That was where Stephen King got the idea for The Shining.
A little bit of a throwback in case you guys missed that one.
So go check that out. It says featuring Katie. I don't remember the name of it. So, Manus and guests would also wake with strange bruises and welts on their body, as well as everyone experiencing strong odors around the house of cat urine and jasmine flowers.
Gross.
That
sounds like a grandma.
That's exactly what me mom smelled like. I was gonna say, like, either that guy has a cat that's pissing everywhere and he's trying to cover it up with jasmine flowers, or Mima was a stinky person and now she's a stinky Dybbuk. So kind of gross. And that smell followed the box around from person to person, as we will find out.
Yeah.
So Manus continued to keep the box until the night of October 31st, which is what
Halloween?
Oh, there we go.
Were you saying what Halloween?
No, I was gonna say
you meant to say what holiday, but I think you were starting to say Halloween.
Don't do this on the podcast.
Anyway.
But on the night of October 31st, when he gifted the box to his mother for her birthday, so that's pretty cool. Harry Houdini mom, you know.
Well, it's not really that cool because he clearly was not digging the box, and so he's like, "Here, mom."
I think he was just like, "I don't have a gift for mom, and it's her birthday. I forgot it was her birthday."
Mom loves cat pee and jasmine.
Well, you know what? The selling point was that it holds wine, not the stench. You know, he's probably like, spray it with some Febreze, leave it outside, you know,
Grandma won't even, or his mom won't even notice.
He's like, I put human pee all over it and it still stinks like cat pee. It's weird. So you got to fight fire with fire. So Manus's mother accepted the box gratefully, but it wasn't long after when she started to feel strange. Collapsing.
Camp strange?
She started to feel strange. She started to feel strange, and then she collapsed on the floor. See, Manus's mother had suffered from a stroke and was rushed to the hospital.
What?
Yeah. She had cat pee in the brain.
Yikes. Not a great birthday present.
Well, he didn't give her a hemorrhage.
He gave her a stroke.
He's like, here, Mom, I hope you like this. She's like, I don't know what people sound like when stroke. Anyway, sorry. So it's unclear if she survived the stroke. I couldn't find it anywhere. Honestly.
Oh, no.
I hope she did. I'm guessing she did. But it was clear that Manus wanted nothing to do with the box anymore, placing it for sale on eBay, which is a little negligent in itself to just be like, but here's the thing.
Well, my train of thought here is if she was still alive, he probably wouldn't sell the box unless he was like, this is a weird connection, bad juju kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, but why just not destroy the box?
Because you got to make a profit.
Exactly. See, it's all about that money. It's about flipping furniture. He's not going to take a loss on this. I don't care if my mom's in the hospital. I'm not taking a loss. Those hospital bills are expensive. So, after a few change of hands, Losif Nitsky, either Russian, Jewish, I don't know what that is. Losif. A student of Truman State University in Kirksville, Missouri, found the box online. See, Nitsky claimed that the box caused lights to burn out in his house and his hair to fall out. I think that...
Well,
he's like,
Men will make any excuse for their hair falling out.
she's like, oh my God, I'm so glad this is our like first date. You look exactly like your picture. Oh, you have less hair. There's a fucking ghost in my house. It's not my male pattern baldness.
Oh my God.
Dybbuk is pulling out my hair. I swear to God. I look better than this usually. It'll grow back. Once I get rid of the ghost, it'll grow back. So Nietzsche claimed, I said that that is cause for the lights to burn out too, and he's also just not paying his electricity bill, so whatever. He also experienced the same cat urine and jasmine flower smell that every other owner claimed to have experienced. See, apparently Nietzsche began to blog about his experience with the box, and attention began to fall upon his posts.
Blogging?
He was blogging about the box.
Do we know where he was blogging?
Probably Tumblr. I don't know.
Big Tumblr guy.
It was just like Dybbuk Box updates, sexual pictures of anime characters. Isn't that what like Tumblr is all about? Just like weird fetishizing
a lot
of
like porn started popping up. You know, I was on Tumblr in my high school / early college days, and it just kind of, I don't know.
I feel like it took a turn where it was like, who's your favorite cartoon character? Mario? We're gonna give him big ass nipples.
Yeah.
You know,
full body of nipple skin.
I bet we could find some sweet Mario pics with like big boobs. They're out there.
They are out there.
They're out there. They're out there. So, like I said, he was blogging about his post, and a lot of attention started falling on him. And Jason Hoxton, who is the director of the Museum of Osteopathic Medicine, which I don't even know osteo.
Bones?
Yeah, osteo for sure. Osteoporosis. I'm just saying.
Osteoporosis.
I'm just saying Latin roots, osteo. That is bone, something bone. So osteopathic medicine in Kirksville, Missouri, had been following Nietzsche's blogs regarding the box, and eventually in 2004, when Nietzsche was ready to get rid of the box, wanted a new head of hair, Haxton bought it from him for $280, which is a pretty good profit.
You could at least buy some Rogaine with that.
Exactly. Some minoxidil, something like that. I wouldn't know. So when Haxton received the box, the problems began immediately, though.
I don't know.
Haxton developed strange health problems, including hives, coughing up blood, and head-to-toe welts. So he's getting the welts, the coughing up blood.
Coughing up blood is never good.
Arthur Morgan.
I watched Grey's Anatomy. I know when they start coughing up blood, it's not a good sign.
If you cough up blood, you're fucked. That's the point in the movie.
You're probably going to die in the show.
But if you want to be cool, you just wipe it on your pants, and somebody goes, "You okay?" And you go, "It's nothing." And you just hide it from everybody.
Oh, is that what Arthur does?
I don't know. That's what Red Dead 2. I don't know. But that's what everybody does in movies when they're coughing up blood and they're sick and they don't want to tell anybody.
They always gotta hide it.
Like the zombie bite. So he also began to have horrible nightmares of the old hag. Making sleeping impossible. Haxton quickly realized he had made a mistake and consulted with rabbis to try to figure out a way to seal the Dybbuk in the box again. Apparently successful, that's in quotes, apparently successful, he took the freshly resealed box and hid it in a secret location in Missouri, which he would not reveal.
Well, I just thought of the 130th way that you can find a man, and that is to be in a Dybbuk box and then haunt their dreams.
We love a nice haunting. We also love a nice box of wine.
It's true.
Ladies, we know you
Wine
like
and
some
dine.
boxes of wine too. Everyone loves a box of wine. Everyone
Now
loves
for
a box of wine.
our second ad.
Box wine. Do you want a headache? Do you want to drink a lot of sulfites? Box wine. Not all box wine. Buy the cheapest. Maybe Franzia. It's okay. So, years later, Haxton decided to dig up the Dybbuk box in order to give it to a new home. That new home, though, was in the hands of a ghost adventurer host, Zach Baggins. Every time I hear his name, I think of Bilbo. Yes, I can't. Or Frodo. But I just keep thinking of a little hobbit running around.
Is Ghost Adventure, is that one where they like walk around and they're like, are there ghosts in here? And then there's like...
That's all of them.
Okay, yeah.
He's like, you know, my favorite thing in all those shows is where they have the thing that transmits it to language. And it's like, it always says like some weird shit like leave, or like it was like leave, or like banana. Banana, and they're like, oh, it's a
Minions?
It's a minion. It's a fucking minion ghost. But yeah, so this guy, he's the guy who wears the really tight shirts and like the spiky hair.
I don't really know. The only thing I know is there was like one time I was like 5 and at my grandma's house, and my older cousin put like some ghost show on, and they were in like a haunted, like huge, I don't know if it was a hotel, I don't know if it was just like a mansion or castle kind of thing, but it really scarred me. And then I was like nervous to go in like this one room in my grandparents' house because I thought it was haunted.
Because it had a Dybbuk box?
It did not, but it was like next to where we were watching the TV, and I just always associated weird things with over there.
Every grandma has a room that you don't want to go into. My grandma had a room. She still has a room that I don't want to really go into. I just don't like the vibes in there. It's like, it's just like a storage room, or like it has like her sewing machine, and you're like, did you use that?
Yeah, the one that I'm referring to is it was like an office of sorts.
Yeah, exactly. So there's always a room like that in every grandma house. But Ghost Adventures is kind of the cream of the crop for them. They've been around for a long time. A lot of knockoff ones, but these guys have always survived somehow. But we'll get into how they're surviving now. But like I said, it landed in the hands of Zach Baggins. And Haxton felt like gifting the box again was not a bad idea, since he believed that the Dybbuk inside the box was finally at peace. He was like, the Dybbuk's gone. Here's the box.
It's been buried long enough.
Exactly. And Zach Baggins like, no, I want that Dybbuk. But it actually turned out that Haxton was sorely mistaken.
Oh, no.
The Dybbuk can't be. That wasn't how you get rid of it. You got to go kill Mr. Old McNally with the 16 dead animals. So, after receiving the box, Zach Baggins decided to place it in his Las Vegas haunted museum for visitors to gaze upon. But the Dybbuk was not as content as Zach was with the idea. And I kind of want to go to this Las Vegas museum now.
Yeah, that's up your alley.
I know it's a tourist trap. I know some of it's bullshit, but guess what? I really want to see that. I think that Annabelle doll's there.
Really?
The original Annabelle doll is there, I believe. But I mean, it's a good time to be creeped out, be spooked out. You know, why not? It's fun. It's Vegas. If you're in Vegas and you don't want to experience something cheesy and hokey, you're in the wrong fucking city, because that's the home of cheesy and hokey. So, shortly after its arrival, mysterious protruding holes began to appear in the walls around the artifact, as if something was trying to break out from within the exhibit.
Oh my God.
Since on display, museum staff, visitors, and Baggins himself have experienced black shadows, fainting, feelings of sickness, anger, anxiety, and more. And my favorite thing about Zach Baggins, if you watch the show, he really like upsells all of his emotions. Mm-hmm. So he'll be sitting there and he's like, I have a really weird vibe. And then he'll stare at like the camera guy who's with him, and he'll get like really angry. And the guy's like, what are you doing? And he'll pretend to like lift a fist, and like he's gonna punch him. And the guy goes, what are you doing, Zach? And Zach goes, oh my God, what am I doing? I don't even remember doing that. I was so angry. I couldn't control my body. I'm like, okay. I mean,
we're embellishing a little, but hey,
you know what?
All good storytellers do.
It's all fun and games until Zach actually punches the guy.
Yeah.
But then you could just sue the ghost. We're all good. There's a loophole. There's ghost law coming this fall. So tensions were obviously high around the box, but things escalated when rapper Post Malone visited the museum in 2018.
Okay, plot twist.
So Malone visited the museum with Baggins after closing hours and decided to gander at some artifacts. When arriving at the Dybbuk box, Baggins and Malone apparently performed some form of ritual where Baggins sprinkled someone's ashes across the Dybbuk box.
Someone's ashes?
Well, I couldn't find out.
It's got to be like...
So... The
Posties, like, I don't know.
No, because the reason I found this out was because this story, there is footage of this happening.
Oh, wow.
Because there's cameras in the museum, obviously. But this happened, back in 2018. But
the good old days.
Yeah. But just recently, I saw like a video of him being interviewed, and he was talking about it. And in a lot of the interviews I read about Post Malone, like, having this experience, they don't mention the ashes. But when Post Malone was being interviewed, he was like, Zach pulled out like this little vial of ashes and started sprinkling it on the Dybbuk box.
Okay.
And I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, no, it's okay. And he did it. So he didn't know whose ashes, even if they were ashes.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if I believe that they're real ashes.
I mean, maybe not, but he was sprinkling something. But like I said, Baggins sprinkled someone ashes across the Dybbuk box, causing Malone to see something. Malone claims he witnessed a dark figure emerge from the box, causing Malone to flee the room, but not before placing his hand on Baggins' shoulder, forcing him out with him. People claim that just by touching Baggins' shoulder as Baggins was touching the box was enough for the curse to transfer over to Malone, and it did seem that was and it did seem that was as I don't know what I'm saying here. Malone
was the case maybe?
Yeah, when Malone left the museum shortly after, but he claims that he saw the spirit follow him out.
Okay.
So when Malone was leaving, he was like, I saw like that dark figure follow me out. And this is where it gets kind of creepy. So Malone was freed from the haunted museum, but shortly after his visit, things began to go horribly wrong. Weeks later, on a private plane to London, Malone's tires immediately blew out after takeoff. The pilot managed to land the plane safely, but it appeared that the Dybbuk was angry and seeking retribution.
Whoa.
A few days later, armed robbers broke into a house where Malone used to live and demanded to see him with guns drawn.
What?
Fortunately for him, though, he had just recently moved and was safe from the attackers. And on September 7th, while driving through West Hollywood, the rapper's Rolls Royce was T-boned by a Kia. Ooh.
Yikes.
That's gotta hurt.
Yikes for that Kia.
Yikes for that fucking Rolls Royce.
Well, but like.
Oh, you mean because it's like so
insurance.
hefty?
Oh, I just meant like insurance wise.
Oh, yeah, they're screwed. So, but fortunately, again, Malone made it out unscathed. And although Malone is doing better now, yeah, I had to do that.
I don't know.
To this day, he is shaken by the whole experience and claims that something malicious was attached to him and was trying to claim his soul. So in the interview, he was like, I went there with Zach, this Dybbuk box, I saw something, and then literally in that next month, all these things happened to me. I actually believe that this Dybbuk was cursing me or did curse me or is still cursing me to some extent. You know what I mean?
I just feel bad for the spirit that's in the box that hasn't been able to communicate properly and hasn't had its goal accomplished, and therefore it cannot be at peace.
What do you think its goal is?
I don't know. Be famous rapper.
Just put wine in the box. I just want some wine.
Maybe in that octopus chalice thing.
Ooh, we need some ink too. I get it. Okay, well that's pretty cool. Well, that is my story, and I don't know if you guys liked it, but if you did, I'm glad you did like it. But now we're gonna be switching over to Katie. We gotta do a little laptop shuffle right here.
We do.
Oh my God. Don't knock that out. Okay, I think we're kind of set now, but
I think we are, and we do have a baby cat asleep between us.
The cat has been going after my legs this entire time. It's very hard to focus on reading.
So cute. Okay. Anyhow, Alex.
That's my name.
Today, I'm gonna tell you the story
A
of
lovely lady. Oh, we live up the street from the Brady Bunch house.
I was about to say something, and now the people are gonna find
Oh,
us.
fuck. They're going to come find us.
Anyway, so I'm going to tell you the story of a notorious French pirate
Oh, I know them all.
who was known as François Lalonnais.
That is the most French name I've ever heard.
It's actually not his real name.
His real name was Croissant Escargot.
It was like Jean. I don't know what it was. It was something also French.
Very French.
Anyway, he was born in approximately 1630. So, as a precursor to my story here, different websites had some vague, a little bit different information. So, most of them said he was born in 1630, but who cares?
All the history back then was just carved into trees. You just had to go find a tree and hope that it had the right information.
Yeah,
no one
much.
had paper.
Anyway, so in his early 20s, he became an indentured servant and was taken from France to Hispaniola, which is now the island where Haiti and the Dominican Republic are.
You know, it's
in
weird.
The Caribbean.
I always assume that just every French person is just like high class already. You're like, he's an indentured servant. I was like, oh, I thought he was going to be like some kind of weird like noble or something like that.
No, he
Everybody
started from the bottom.
Now he's an indentured servant, but you'll get there.
So he was an indentured servant for 10 years, according to most sources, but some other ones say he escaped after 3 years. Once again, details, you know?
They didn't find that tree.
They didn't find that tree. In any case, once he was done with his servitude, he joined the Buccaneers.
Football team.
Not the football team. It was actually a group / brotherhood of French settlers that were living in the Caribbean.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you just have to have like a long mustache and a pointy goatee to be a buccaneer?
So basically, I mean, there was a whole thing. I didn't write it because I didn't think it was that interesting. But like the word buccaneer comes from like the word boucan, which was like a frame of sorts that they like smoked meat on.
Oh, like the pirates smoked meat on them?
Yeah.
Really?
And that's how they became known as buccaneers.
That's so weird.
Yeah, I thought it was like...
That's actually really interesting.
Oh.
A
okay.
boucan or something?
Yeah.
That's interesting. So they're just like kind of sailors that would like smoke meat and they're
Well,
like...
they weren't even necessarily sailors. Well, maybe actually probably most of them, but I don't...
They didn't start out as sailors, maybe.
But like, for instance,
They're
François,
meat smokers.
our friend François was just like, hi, I just did my indentured servitude.
It was quite an adventure.
And now I'm here. Anyway, so most of them were driven from their island homes by Spanish forces. So then they decided to target Spanish ships and towns.
Oh, so it's just like they're kind of like they're pirates that are like, I'm gonna seek revenge, basically.
Yes,
like
yes,
attack
yes.
the people that fucked up our homes.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, kind of cool.
Yeah, so they did their thing, and then they were pillaging and whatnot.
What
And-
pirates do.
Yes, pirate things.
Pirate tings.
Pirate things. And then the French president of the island of Tortuga.
That is so fucking pirate.
That's very Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's that song by Andy Samberg and Michael Bolton.
I-
Have the land of Tortuga.
Okay.
It's a Lonely Island song. It's called The Legend of Captain Jack Sparrow or something like that.
Okay.
You gotta check it out. We'll listen. I'll force her to listen later.
So the president had heard about François L'Olonnais and his talents when it came to plundering and, murdering Spanish colonists. So he gave him a small ship to command, and thus began his career.
Oh,
if you will.
because the French president's like, I don't like the Spanish either. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
Make sure
everyone.
they
I
stay
think
away.
everybody at that time was just like trying to get as much land as they could.
so he's like, I'm just
And
gonna
just kill each other.
I'm gonna get this bad boy, and I'm gonna like hire him to be like my mercenary, and just give him like everything not hire him, but like I'm gonna give him supplies and keep up the good work, buddy. You keep killing Spanish people and
Yeah.
sinking their ships, and that's good for me, good for business.
Yeah, I think he probably also like took some of whatever they collected,
Oh, okay.
loot.
Booty.
Yeah, but I don't. He wasn't a privateer though, which is when you get like a letter of marque from like the actual leader of the
Oh.
country. He wasn't like a legal pirate, if you will.
He didn't have a license to kill. He wasn't James Bond. He was kind of like a rogue agent. Like he's kind of like Jason Bourne, where it's like, if you get caught, we don't know you.
Okay,
Right?
Haven't seen that either. So anyway,
I think the government's after him in that. I haven't seen those in a while.
So during his early days as a captain, L'Olonnais and his crew were shipwrecked off the Yucatan Peninsula, which is Mexico.
We brought that up last episode. That's where the meteor struck that killed the dinosaurs.
Okay.
Dinosaurs are big. My favorite's T-Rex.
Big but little arms.
Well, some say they have feathers and normal size arms, but that's a discussion for another
debate.
time.
So anyway, they were shipwrecked but survived and made it to land, only to encounter Spanish forces who ended up taking out the entire crew.
No.
L'Olonnais, however, was the sole survivor, and any guesses how he How we did this?
Ooh, okay. Ooh, it's gonna be something gross, right? I feel like if you survive like your whole crew dying, you either had to do something embarrassing or disgusting. So he either crawled under a bunch of dead bodies, or he jumped in the toilet, something like that.
They do have a lot of toilets back in 1630s.
Well, you know what I mean? It was a piece of wood with a hole in it with a fucking cavity below.
Well, you were pretty spot on with your first one. He smeared the blood of his dead crew members on his face and body, and then lifted them on top of himself so that he could play dead.
Nice. I've seen that in a couple war movies. That's the way to go. It sucks, and it sucks even more if they catch you, because then you just rub blood all over yourself, and you're gonna die.
Mm-hmm. So once the Spanish left, he made his way to the nearest city. Apparently, he disguised himself as a Spaniard. I don't really know how that would happen.
He's like walking around. He's like, "Fuck the French, fuck them." I don't know.
Speaking Spanish, probably.
Why is that guy speaking English?
Mm-hmm.
He's not French or Spanish. What the fuck?
So he made his way to the nearest city, and he convinced a group of French slaves that were in that Spanish town to come with him, steal a canoe, and sail him back to Tortuga to help him prepare his revenge.
So you got to start small. Go for the canoe. Why not? Mm-hmm. You don't want to be like, hurry, let's all get the biggest ship they got. Like, no, take the canoe.
You got to be low key.
Yeah, sneak out. Take the canoe.
So anyway, after some preparations, I think he probably gathered more of a crew as well. And they held a Spanish town hostage and demanded a ransom.
Ooh, very fun.
And then
holding a town hostage seems logistically impossible.
Well, I don't think the towns were as big as one is now.
You know how you get them? You hold a pie eating contest.
Oh, God.
And while everybody's at the pie eating contest, then you surround them. And you pull your guns. And you say, no more blueberry pie.
I mean, there's only like a couple roads in and like a port. I don't know.
There's one sheriff. All you got to do is hit him over the head with a log and you're good. That's how it works. That's how it works.
So they demanded their ransom, and then the town's leader sent a ship to kill Lalane, but he ended up capturing and beheading the crew of the people that were coming for him.
Oh.
And allegedly ate the beating heart of its captain.
Oh. That's hard.
So
core.
He killed the entire crew, except for one survivor, whom he told to let the ruler know that he will never spare another Spaniard's life.
Was it Post Malone? There's always a little like catch. Like it was Oprah Winfrey, and she went on to become the richest woman in the world.
No.
Okay. That's crazy though. He's like, go tell them like.
Yeah, I don't know.
Else.
I don't know who on the ship it was. I watched one thing, and I guess like there was a guy on the ship whose job was to hang people, and he was like, I'm just like enslaved too. Don't kill me. And then Lalane was like, oh, we won't kill you, and then killed him. So I don't know. I don't know who the guy was that actually survived.
It's like killing the janitor.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh God, like he has to do the hardest job here, and like he doesn't get like
He's
enough
not,
respect.
like, getting paid.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, come on, like spare him. Like he's probably a nice guy. He has nothing to do with whatever else is going on. Oh man.
Yeah.
But
so
also, what do you think? I mean, we could find out, but what do you think, like logistically, it takes to eat a heart? Like,
well, you gotta slice their chest open and then.
No, eating, not removing. It's already out. It's in your hand.
Well, I don't know if you like ate the whole thing or just like took a bite.
Yeah, you think it's like an apple where you just like. Ugh.
It's like where you like, I don't know. I feel like fishermen sometimes bite the head off a fish, you know, when they capture it.
Ooh, Ozzy Osbourne.
I feel like it's a thing like on Deadliest Catch, like the first catch of the season or
Oh,
something.
yeah. Traditional things, yeah.
Anyway.
Fair.
So, that was one of his highlights of his career.
Pretty cool highlight.
Pretty cool.
If you would have ended there, I've been like, good life, dude. That was pretty hardcore. You ate a heart. You win.
Mm-hmm. But perhaps his biggest quote-unquote success was in 1666 when he gathered a fleet of 8 ships with a crew of 440 total pirates and went to Maracaibo, which is now
Beautiful.
Venezuela.
Oh.
And he went there in order to sack and pillage the city, of course, as pirates do.
Yep. I mean, 448?
440.
440 pirates is probably the most terrifying thing I could think of. That's like, those guys, like, war crimes don't exist for them.
Nope.
Like, you'd be like, oh, what about, like, so maybe like Mongolian horseback riders would be very scary too. I'll let them join the pirate gang, but like soldiers, like, nah. Pirates and Mongolian warlords, you gotta watch out for them.
They got no boundaries.
No boundaries
No
at
morals.
all. No.
So the main goal for this trip was to steal gold that the city's townspeople had. And there was only one way into the city by sea. So they decided to go by land, which actually made him one of the first buccaneers to use this tactic.
Oh.
And it was an efficient method, and they took the city relatively easily. And so they spent the next 2 months there, raping, pillaging, torturing the folks. So, from what I understand,
when we say that, it doesn't sound as like, it doesn't sound like we're not glorifying him, but we're just saying, like, pirates. You know how pirates be. You guys know it.
it's just how they are.
Disney tried to dress it up rather nicely, but they know the history. They know the history.
So, anyway, they were there for 2 months and kind of found the nicest houses and, like, were living there, and then going to different citizens, like, homes and trying to get their gold. But, like, the people most of them, like, had hidden their gold, so they weren't able to find very much. And then
It's crazy. Like, I feel like there's nothing more, like, nothing more I want than, like, to have, like, Spanish gold. Like, just like it rolls off the tongue, like, Spanish gold. Like, it sounds more gold than other gold. Am I right or am I wrong?
yes, it does.
It does.
So when they would ask the kind folks of this city where their gold was hidden, if they didn't answer, of course, Lalane would
no.
resort to torturing. And he was an expert torturer, according to one website that I was looking at.
Oh, no.
So some of his tactics were...
Oh, shit. I was thinking of what his
Would
tactics...
you like to guess any?
Well,
Don't cheat.
see, the thing is, like, with 1660 torture, I'm not really brushed up with my 1660 torturing methods, but I was gonna say, like, fingernails, tongues, and eyes are always, or maybe toes, between the toes too. Like, those are all really bad ones that, like, you can get away with, like, doing because it won't kill them, but it's
You're
fucking
on to
awful.
something with a few of those.
Okay.
So he would
Teeth too.
he would use a sword and slice off portions of his victim's flesh, and then
Nipples.
apparently lick the sword.
Oh, well, he ate a heart. I mean,
He's licking the blood.
this
of
is
his
child's
enemies.
play at this point.
Yeah, and then he'd also cut their tongues out before killing them. Sometimes.
It'd be cool if he cut them with the sword and then cut their tongue out and then use their tongue to lick the blood off the sword.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, but it's cool.
Of course, he would, burn some people alive. I think that's kind of a common.
See, that's a
thing.
bad one though, because you have to get those answers like, "Where's the gold?" really quick. Like,
Well, I think that was probably like, I don't know if there was stages to this. I don't
Okay.
know if it was just a one.
not just throwing them in fire. You maybe roasting them. Okay.
Or maybe just sliced them up first, and then if they're not answering you.
Yep, we're not gonna get the gold anyway.
And then one of his signature moves was to tie ship rope around their necks until their eyes popped out.
Is ship rope like that
like,
fucking
very thick.
huge. Yeah, like the huge rope they tie like boats to docks with.
Yeah, I forget the technical name for it. It wasn't something that I read, but once again, it wasn't a detail that I found to be important, and now I should have put it in.
No, I kind of got it. Ship rope is gonna be thick rope, and they probably did like the whole like you stand in the middle, wrap the rope around your neck, and we're gonna play tug of war on both sides or something like that.
Yeah, and there is a fun illustration for that image, so be sure to check out at Camp Strange Podcast on Instagram for that one.
Ooh, nice plug.
You're welcome. So anyway, they lived it up there for a few months, and then took what they could. They did end up with a bunch of like, silverware and gold and
Okay, I thought you were gonna say just
jewels,
silverware.
and
I'm like,
they
got enough.
struck it big.
Okay.
So, for what would become his final expedition, he was attempting to go to modern-day Nicaragua, but ended up in Honduras. And his crew continued to plunder towns until they ended up in the city of San Pedro, which had a nearby Spanish gold mine.
Ooh, see, that's a lot of hard work though. But that does mean that you could just instead of torturing him, just like go start working in the mines, right?
Right. However, after torturing, some people and trying to figure out a way to get into the mine because there were guards, they didn't really have much luck. So then they just had to try and fight the guards. Didn't work out.
Oh no.
So they didn't end up with very much after this voyage. And you know what that means?
What?
That his crew started to turn on him. So they abandoned him.
No.
So he had a very, very minimal crew.
He's like, if you guys were better at fighting guards, we wouldn't be in this situation.
So with his much smaller crew, he tried to set sail to Nicaragua again. But the ship ran aground.
This guy's not a good sailor.
Which
he
means-
should have stuck to the land tactics.
I didn't know what ran aground means. It means the water was too shallow and basically like tore up the bottom of the boat.
Yeah. You hit a sandbank or some rocks or some shit.
And to finish up my story here, there was a Native American tribe on the land called the Kuna. Mm-hmm. Not Kuma.
No, but close.
But almost.
Close.
And this tribe captured him, tore him into pieces,
Oh, karma's a bitch.
and burned his body.
Oh my god.
However, many sources also say that he was cannibalized.
Yo, he got ate.
And to me, like you said, this is just a bad case of karma or a good case, depending how you look at it.
True.
If you're for or against this. And that's my story.
He's kind of like a turducken at that point, where he's a heart inside. There's a heart inside of a stomach, like when they eat him.
Ew, gross. Yeah, I guess. I mean, only if you had just eaten one, which you probably didn't.
He's like, after that first heart, I got a hankering for hearts.
Yeah.
You know me, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is so cool though. That I mean,
It came full circle, He was a bad guy, and then bad thing happened to him.
yeah, it's cool. It's not cool just to like have people die nilly willy, but it is cool
I
for
think it's
karma's sake.
willy-nilly.
What'd I say?
Nilly willy.
Whatever. But it is cool that like the Native Americans who are obviously like historically like taken advantage of are just like, oh, hey motherfuckers, what's up? And then there's like, oh, well, we got this. Like, look at these guys. And there's like, nope, we're gonna fucking kill you and eat
Yep.
you. Like that's pretty badass. So I have to say, and you know what? They probably got a. Actually, I don't know if he spent all the gold or what happened to the gold, but they got a little bit of gold.
Much after, but yeah.
And you know what? They probably didn't even want the gold. There's like a lot of Native American tribes. They just used the gold for like decoration and stuff. They didn't see it as like a
Currency.
Yeah, currency. So they're just like pounded it out. That's why like Machu Picchu used to be covered in gold. It was gold flake all over the outside of every house. But it's obviously not there anymore. But that's the city, City of Gold. That's El Dorado. But
Okay.
a lot of people think El Dorado is Machu Picchu. I don't really know what the whole thing about that is, but it's the lost city of El Dorado. But
But anyway, that's the whole François Lallinet.
holy
story.
shit. I felt bad for him at first because he was an indentured servant, but then you kind of like become a bad guy. You get eaten. That's what happens.
Yep.
That's the way.
Cycle of life? Circle of life? What's it called?
Cycle of circles.
Yes.
idiot.
Circle of life. But I said cycle instead.
There's a life cycle.
This is too much.
Okay, well, I think that wraps it up for us tonight at Camp Strange. First off, I'd like to thank Katie so much for helping us out here, and David owes him. Oh my God, are you a man?
No.
Maybe. But David owes her a big thank you because she held her own. She pulled the boat onto land even though it ran aground, and she helped out Camp Strange when we needed it. So thank you so much, Katie, and I love you.
Of course. Thank you. Love you.
And if you guys want any more information, we don't have campstrange.com up right now because it just costs too much money to keep it up. No one's going there. Who cares? Just go to Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Let's go to Instagram, link in bio. You know, you can get all you want. You
Merch
can get
in
the
bio,
merch.
merch in bio, link in bio. You go find it on Pandora.
Send them an email.
Yeah, yo, if you guys want to send us an email, just send it to campstrangepodcast@gmail.com, and we will send something back. We got time. It's still quarantine, baby.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys want merch, go to the link in the bio on the Instagram, and the Instagram is Camp Strange Podcast. It's easy. And if you guys want to rate, review, subscribe, you can do that on iTunes or, we have Spotify. We're on Spotify and we're on Pandora and whatever else you got it on. Anyway, thank you so much, Katie. And do you have anything to say before we head out?
I think the last couple things I'd like to say is, if you're getting some maskne, be sure to wash your mask.
Wash your mask.
Just get some laundry detergent, hand wash it.
You gotta wash your mask if you must.
Okay.
It's a song by Deltron. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Adopt, don't shop.
Spay and neuter your pets.
Spay and neuter your pets.
Bob Barker.
And
don't
have a good day.
Don't eat hearts if you don't need to.
Yeah, well, just probably don't eat them.
Eat your heart out, François. There we go.
There we go.
And don't forget to stay strange.